I'm here with the RDP team. We're sitting outside on our porch with the chickens and the dogs around us. And so I'll just let each person here introduce themselves. And we'll go from this side around and we'll end with my friend Mara. The girls are in the front. And so guys, if you can each tell who you are, what your position is with RDP, and just quickly, I'll ask each of you one question as you're speaking. And so you go first, tell who you are, what you do. And Daniel, yours will be, what's your favorite thing about working with me?
That caught me by surprise, but I'll attempt to answer that.
You don't have to.
Hi, everyone. My name is Daniel Nyirenda, and I work as Executive Director for Road Development Partners. So my main role is to oversee whatever is happening with Road Development Partners, to work with Julie hand in hand with, Love a Village, and just to make sure that everything is okay, and also to coordinate and facilitate implementation of activities in collaboration with our project officer, our finance officer, and our interns. So I'm actually managing everything that is happening here on the ground. So I think briefly that's it. Julie asked a question. What is it that...
What's your favorite part of working with me?
Okay.
You don't have to answer. You can pick something else.
No, I have the answer.
Okay.
But I won't tell you I'll tell you the answer that is actually appropriate for this meeting.
Okay.
Because the other answer is funny in a way, but I'll just tell you the other answer that I think you need to hear. The favorite part is Julie keeps me on the toes. Julie keeps me up to date. She's always on me, asking questions, wanting pictures, videos to see what's happening here. So I think that's the favorite part, because it motivates me and it keeps me, active. Otherwise, if she wasn't asking about those things, I would also be sleeping at home. So that's my favorite part.
Cool. Elaine, I'm going to keep my eye on you. Can you just raise your hand if you can't hear me or any of them, that kind of thing? Background noise is going on, that sort of stuff. So just pull yourself in if you need to. So I'll go next person here behind me.
Hello.
You ladies can wave at them.
Maybe you don't know how to wave. My name is Masauso. Julie used to call me Utsi.
Uh-huh.
I'm a bookkeeper in Rural Development Partners.
Oh, I have a question for you. What's something you've noticed about RDP that you enjoy? Utsi has just started maybe in February or so he's new and out in the field, not as much as the others. But what's something that you've noticed that you enjoy or admire about RDP that might make them a little bit different from other organizations? Is there anything that stands out to you?
Yeah, of course. What I can say is the way we work here is with the collaboration with the director, the project officer, and the intern. It's different, whereby you are open and able to say this is like this is like this. So I like the job very much. And wherever I am being also directed, wherever I'm going wrong, but all in all, I like the job. I like figures. 2 + 2 is 4. And the 2 × 2 is also 4. So I like it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Utsi.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Your turn.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, we can't hear them. Well, we can't hear them. They've muted themselves. They're all muted. You can unmute yourselves if you want to go, hey.
It won't work. Okay, thank you.
Tay heard it, yeah.
I'm Kezi Soko. I'm working as a project officer with the Road Development Partners. The thing that I enjoy the most is being in the field, implementing whatever is planned at the office with everyone here. making sure that the targeted goal are reached and that we meet whatever we plan for to do. So that's what I enjoy the most.
Being out in the field.
Yeah, being in the field.
He's good at it too. He's the go-to guy. He's on the bike all the time out there. People looking for Kezi. Where's Kezi? Or me, of course, but I'm not always here. Okay, go ahead. This is Mara.
All right. Hi, my name is Mala Lindwesu. I work as an intern with RDP.
And, yeah, and what is something that you have enjoyed? When did you start with RDP?
I started in July on 7th July this year.
This year, oh,
Yeah.
short time.
Yeah.
And with Corona, so you haven't been out in the field a lot, but what's something that you have enjoyed? Do you have a story or is anything that you've enjoyed so far? Meeting me.
Yeah, meeting you has been the greatest privilege. But mostly I enjoy going to the field, working with different projects. As for RDP has integrated projects, I enjoy working with the integrated projects. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Mara. Thanks, everyone. So RDP has 3 employed positions, and they usually have 2 interns. There was a second one, but he's not here with us today. So Mara is one of the interns, and those rotate, every year or so, the interns. Okay, so Daniel.
Before you go,
yeah.
what is it that you don't like working with RDP?
Oh, what do I not like about working with RDP? Let's see. There's not much I don't like. I enjoy all of you.
That's what you like. You enjoy. What don't you like? It's not even anything. I love the eczema. I love sitting on the floor in the village. I don't get enough motorbike rides. That's the only thing I can say. I like going in by motorbike, and it's not as frequent as I would choose or hope, but I get it often enough, so it's good. Okay, so I have a couple of questions for you guys. Predominantly, I'll be asking Daniel and Kezi because they're the ones who are heading up the projects. If Mara or Utsi, you have something you'd like to add briefly to one of the answers, feel free to at the end. Is that okay? Okay, cool. What are some of the projects, Daniel, can you list 2, and Kezi, you list 2 that have been going on since April, if you can think back that way. April, Help Each Other, remember, that have been successful, that you've been a part of implementing, like, I know you both have. So 2 projects and 2 projects that have been successfully implemented so far. All right, thank you very much. I'll start with water supply. So provision of safe water to our communities is one of the major activities, and it's the one that also takes up a chunk of our funding. So last year we were supposed to drill 3 boreholes, but unfortunately one managed to drill 1, and then the other 2 were drilled this year. So that has been done, and also the 3 boreholes that were supposed to be done this year have also been drilled successfully and they're functioning. So that's one. And the second one is the livestock project, the person scheme. So we normally provide livestock to people to supplement their protein. Because in the villages, most of them, they rely on just roots or other vegetables that grow in the field, like bushes. They'll use those for food. And they actually consume less protein. The other type of protein that they normally use is beans, maybe fish, but that's not also common because you need money to buy that and people don't have money. So we provide livestock. So we provide goats, pigs, and chickens to families, hoping that when they raise them properly, they have offspring, they also pass on to another family. So this year, we're able to meet our target of providing 48 animals to 24 families. So we're hoping that in the next 6 months to 1 year, some of them will be having offsprings and they'll pass on to another family. So those are the 2 main project areas that we've actually tackled and implemented successfully. So maybe
I want to just add one thing on that. One of the things that sticks out in my mind in terms of how, in fact, they have no money in the village. They literally have nothing. The odd time they have a few cents and they can maybe buy a little bit of this or that here and there. For me, just think back to, now I'm not good with my history, my Canadian history, but back to the days, you know, in when there was bartering and trading. There are also still things that are going on in our community still. They'll trade up, they'll do the whole thing where they get something, they grow maybe extra tomatoes and they'll trade up for a pot, and then maybe the pot they'll trade up for a blanket or those kinds of things. So that stuff also goes on in the community. When you have no money, you have to figure out how to be resourceful. Am I right?
Yeah, very true.
Okay.
So like in when they just harvest their maize, most of them will swap maize with other things like fish, maybe beans or something, or even sell it, get money, and then buy something else.
And the offspring from the livestock that they're being given, those offspring, you say pass on scheme, that's their way of sort of, what is that, giving back? Because we don't want them to receive things for free, right?
Yeah. So the mere fact that you attach a household to a recipient is actually it actually gives them commitment to make sure that they raise the animal and pass on the livestock to the next family. So it's a loan. When you give them the animal, you tell them this is not paid until you pass on. If you get two goats, you pass on 2 goats to another family, then the remaining 2 are yours. But you're not allowed to sell all of them, because the main purpose is to ensure that they at least have food. So you can only maybe sell after the next, maybe after you have the next second batch. You pass on the first one, the second batch, you can use the other animals that you have for food and also to sell. But you're not supposed to sell everything until you remain with nothing. So that's the principle.
Okay, cool. And the pass on, when you pass it on to another family, your first set of offspring, they also have to continue. So it's the whole pyramid thing where you got 2, they pass the 2 on, and then those ones pass them on, and it just dribbles down. You end up, eventually the whole community will hopefully be recipients of the original ones we give out each year. Cool. Tez, do you have 2 things?
Sure. Okay. Since April, maybe I should start by saying the.
Can you hear them?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. The 2020 budget included crop management training, and it also included giving out pumps for irrigation in Ngomero. The pumps were meant to pump water from the river or any water source, so that they should cultivate a big area without rain. Unfortunately, we underlooked for the whole thing.
Under budgeted.
And we under budgeted, and by looking at the whole area, we identified about 4 places, but we need more other places that we can do the irrigation activity. Trying to squeeze our budget, we tried to squeeze our budget. We managed to establish 2 places successfully, and we tried to do the pumping of water, putting of pipes which were not budgeted, and training people a little bit so that they should have knowledge on how they can carry out their work. So we've been successful in 2 sites where we know that by next week they'll start getting their lands. We are trying to look into our budget to how we can still squeeze so that we should work on the 2 remaining. So we've been successful. We plan to buy 4 pumps. We bought all the pumps. We managed within the same budget to buy the pipes for some other areas. We did that, so it's been successful. We know that we'll try to squeeze it to work in some other areas. We need to cover the whole Homero so that we should not leave any group of the people complaining that we didn't help them. We need to help everyone who is interested.
How about the food crop management training?
Okay, the crop management training, we covered only the crops that they can cultivate and find food out of it. So we train them on how they can grow and manage beans, grow and manage maize, which is corn. We also train them on how they can manage tomato, onion, and cabbages. So these are some of the crops that they will be cultivating in the irrigation project. When the rain is gone, since just the moment rain is gone, they need to start preparing their land. They should harvest before the next rainy season. So that's what was covered in the crop management. And that's where we started planning for irrigation project.
So can I ask a question about the irrigation since we're on that? Irrigation wasn't something that was in our original plan with Lava Village and RDP. It's something that, just correct me or help me know that I'm right, that people have come forth and said, you know, our rains are limited, our harvests are limited, we have water underground, and we have a little bit of streams that dry up for most of the year. But if we can collect some water in an area, then we can get some families together to cultivate a small plot and get the irrigation. But they've come to you asking for this because they want it, they need it. And am I right on that? Can you expand, either of you?
Yeah. So that's correct. And just additional information that I want to say is also during our visits, when we go to visit them when they are working on their gardens, for example, when we started planting the trees, they made nurseries close to the stream. They were walking like maybe a few meters, a lot of meters, like maybe 100 meters from where they get the water, they get the seeds. But they also grew some vegetables, like not on large scale. So it's something that we saw that they're already doing. They're already doing a little bit of vegetable production on their own, but they're doing that with difficulty because they had to walk long distances to get water to water their vegetables. So we thought it's something that we can help them.
Bring water to them.
Bring water closer to them so that they can use, maybe using canals or maybe a hose pipe or anything when they pump it from a reservoir somewhere where they are growing their products. So it's something that we thought to build on, because if you are working on something that there are people already doing and you just want to support them, it's more sustainable than if you bring something that is completely new and you start from scratch. So this one is something that we just built on their already existing interest and also capabilities.
Okay, cool. I wanted to just give you also, guys, one story that I learned since being here this trip. It just happened. Not everything is successful. And sometimes they're successful to start, and then the pig dies, or the chicken gets eaten by a snake, or the eggs are taken. So there can be a need for recommitment to continue helping, those kinds of things. One of the stories I just learned, Daniel, can you tell, or Kezi, one of you, tell about the 12,000 trees that we helped with seeds, I think, and what's gone on there with those?
Yeah, you know the story?
Yeah, I know the story. Okay, in our last year's budget, we planned that we will support the people in Romero to raise their own seedlings for trees, and they did that. One of the sites, they raised about 12,000 seedlings.
The reason they're doing trees is because deforestation is big here. There's a large problem with the trees being cut down to make charcoal and to burn in order to cook, so they need to reforest. So sorry.
Yes, so we plan to support them with that so that they should raise their own seedlings. But the main challenge is there are people who might be playing with fire, making fire anyhow. Those people who are making charcoal. Unfortunately, someone had one of the plot which our people in Romero planted trees.
How many?
There are about 12,000.
12,000.
Yeah, 12,000 of them. Someone had to set fire. So he did that during the time when they were making fire break. They need to make fire break so that they should protect their land. So they were in the process of making fire breaks. And unfortunately, someone made fire somewhere and it extended to their field and all their trees are gone.
So it was an accidental fire and all 12,000 of the trees are gone. So there's lots of disappointment, like very, very Like that's huge for him to have lost that.
So last week, I also went to Luhomelo. I saw a very big land which were set on fire. And I met one of the person who was involved in planting the trees. And he was complaining, saying that I don't know if my trees are safe. Would you please take me there so that I should see what is happening there? So I took him there to check. Fortunately enough, he made the fire break, and the fire break protected his trees, and 2,000 of his trees are safe.
Good. So a fire break is just like a divide in the ground. They're just clearing a path so that if there's a fire, it doesn't cross the dirt to the next section. Fire break is the term. Cool. Okay. Should we ask Elaine? Do you want questions asked now?
Pretty much at the end, I think, because I know we have limited data for you. So you just move on and we'll ask at the end.
Okay, so basically the question, I guess, will be for Daniel. 2001 is our last year, potentially, and by plan in Luhomero for the 5th year-ish, because it's our guinea pig area. So it's kind of got some wobbly ends. And how is it looking to be ending? I guess actually, no, I'd rather also talk about the pandemic. How is that affecting the timeline? How is the pandemic here in Malawi? Yeah, anything on those?
Yeah, so just like anywhere else, when the COVID-19 pandemic struck, people were anxious, what's happening, and they were, they didn't know what's gonna happen. And I think different countries actually put in place different measures to control the pandemic. And one of the things that the Malawi government did was they wanted to implement a complete lockdown and, put in other measures like if you want to get service anywhere, like in a grocery, in a bank, whatever, masks should be mandatory, physical distance, all those kind of things. So the problem was the time the government wanted to implement the total lockdown was towards the elections. So that was not allowed. People actually went to court. They contested it, and the court said you can't implement the lockdown in Malawi. One, because people live on hand to mouth. They rely on, they have a little something. They're going to the market to sell. So if you lock down, no one is going to.
It's cash too. It's all cash.
Most of them are not going to find anything. No money to buy some other things that they need for their livelihood. So that was not implemented. And one of the things that was encouraged, especially for us as organizations, was we're encouraged to send the message out to people, to inform them about the pandemic, give them the right information, because there were a lot of myths surrounding it. And, so as rural development partners, we requested Zave Village that, we had funding for sanitation and hygiene campaigns. So we requested that we use those funds to go in the community with a public address system and use. So the government of Malawi had some already made, I'll call them jingles, or just short messages that talk about what the pandemic is all about, how it's transmitted, how it can be prevented, and all those kind of things. So we worked hand in hand with the Ministry of Health, with the health personnel. We went in the communities in Luhomero with vehicles, spreading those messages and handing out also pamphlets, posters that had messages in the local language that explained to people about the pandemic and how they can deal with it.
Except they don't all read.
So that's what we did as a reaction to the COVID-19 pandemic. But looking at what is happening right now, I think the only effect I can see is that, there was a lockdown of the country where airports, borders were closed. So being a landlocked country, we rely on our neighbors to bring in things into the country. We rely on, cross-border trade for most businesses. So that actually suffocated most businesses. So most businesses could not bring in things from outside. So a little bit of, price hikes for this, price hike for that. And then people don't have money to buy things because they're afraid to go. They're afraid to go to the market. But I think over time, people have now relaxed a little bit. The use of masks, the physical distancing is not common now. And I think even if you look at the statistics, schools have opened now. Statistics are not different, but I'm sure it's because people have just decided to live with the pandemic.
But the numbers are down. They're low.
Yeah, the numbers are down because they've changed the protocol. Because in the past, if they find someone positive, they'll ask them to trace all their contacts, and all their contacts are supposed to be tested. But now, if you find someone positive, they just tell the patient to reach out to their contacts and tell them to self-isolate. They don't go for testing. So, after a few days, people are recovering. So the recovery rate right now, from the number of tests, so about close to 60,000 people have been tested, and almost 10% of those are positive, and the recovery rate is very high. So like 5,000 something cases positive, the recovery rate is over 4,000 something already, close to 5,000. So.
And one of the things that we were talking in a meeting, and there was a doctor there. One of the things that they're wondering why, Malawians, Africans, the numbers are so low. Part of it is they deal with on a regular basis, having to build strong immune systems. In Canada, everything's clean and sterile. Don't touch this. Don't put that in your mouth. We don't immunize ourselves. I mean, I ate the dirt when I was a kid and ate worms and bugs. But we don't let our kids sort of in this generation. And here, though, they're contending with TB, HIV, cholera, malaria. There's a constant awareness of hand washing, and they're already got sort of place for making sure that when something comes in, like when they had Ebola around in Africa and those kinds of things, they already have a lot of measures in place. And the mindset can already be somewhat, bump elbows instead of high-fiving or handshaking and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah, so coming to the last part of your question, how is it going to affect our implementation? How has it affected it? Moving on, how do we look at ending 2020 and also maybe ending 2021? So a quick reaction to that is that, when the COVID-19 just started, we also scaled down on our operations. So we stopped conducting trainings, meetings, and also we minimized our visits into the village. So in terms of implementation, I would say we're going to catch up. We're going to make sure that we do those things that we canceled, but the measures are still in place. So, for example, government does not allow to have a meeting of over maybe 50 people. And if you're meeting, you need to have masks. All of you need to be 1 foot apart. So all those are there. If we do that, we might end up getting fined by government. But we're going to see how government, reacts to the measures, because they are actually, loosening them little by little, because they're trying the open schools. So like schools have opened for only those that are examination classes, and they're seeing how it's going on. They'll be testing the learners. Maybe after a month or two, they'll open for other classes and so on and so forth, and continue testing. So I'm sure by the end of maybe November, most of the measures will be lessened, and so we'll be able to catch up on the activities that are remaining. But for 2021, I must say that it will be important for us as an organization, maybe to conduct a rapid assessment, because the goodness is we had a baseline study, and thanks to Tay, she was part of the team that did the baseline study. We collected information before.
So was Nini.
I didn't see
Nini's down there. Hi, Nini.
Tay and
She's
Nini.
frozen. Oh, there she is.
I didn't see Nini was here. Tay and Nini, they participated in
Getting a baseline.
getting a
survey.
I
baseline.
was even wondering who that was.
That's Nini.
Oh. So we have information on what it was before we started implementing. So probably I was disappointed that Tay couldn't come this time around, because I thought if you came, I'd actually task her to do a Nini as well, to do another assessment, just a quick assessment to see where we are, maybe with 1 or 2 villages, to compare what the progress is. So from that, then we should be able to say, I think they are in a better position, or they are still the same or they've moved a little bit, we need to add a year or two. So I think that could be our decision to whether stop in 2021 or continue would be based on
The results.
just a rapid assessment of where we are right now. So I think that's what I can say as of now. But looking at when we go there, I think you can see a number of improvements. You know, there've been a lot of bores that have been drilled. People are practicing conservation agriculture. They're growing vegetables more than they did before. Issues of hygiene, we've done the messages that we can only know when we, do an assessment to see in terms of knowledge, because the hygiene education is there to provide people the knowledge and all those things. So knowledge and behavior can only be known if you have a chat with 2 or 3 people and then get an understanding of where they are. So I think maybe that's what I can say.
Okay, cool.
Now.
So Masa or Mara, do you guys have anything in what just got talked about, anything brief that you wanted to add that you sort of thought, oh, do you have anything? Either of you on any of that? No, Mara's my cute, quiet one. What about you, Lucy? No? Okay, cool. So I lost Elaine, but I see Vicky and Shelly, who are also admin. So let's do some Q&A. If you have a question or any thoughts or comments and you want to, I think there might be a setting where you can push a button and it asks to raise your hand to Shelly, who's admin for the Zoom, or you can just wave if you have any questions for anyone.
So if you can, just unmute yourself. And I guess we'll just be polite and be Canadian and take turns chatting. So ladies and gents, have at it.
I saw a question from Lorraine Fish. If she can't verbalize, unmute herself, maybe someone can read her question out loud. Oh, let me just show you this. Hang on, Lorraine.
Wait, look at our friends. See?
Julie, I just wanted you to talk about the fact that you have no water right now.
Why? You don't want me to talk about no water?
No, I want you to.
Oh, you want me to?
He wants you to talk about it.
Okay, I'm living in my house, Chanju, which is the boys and Mara's girls. It's the office when I'm not here. Oh, look, the lighting is so much better there. You what? I'm hurting your. Oh, even when I'm here, it's their office, he says, which is true. Anyway, so right now, I'm in a complex of about 5 houses, I think, or something, 4 houses. And the water is out here. I've paid the bill, so I know that I should have water. But usually there's a dribble coming out of the taps. Today there's like 0, and I smell. So I've managed to find an Ethiopian Airlines wipe in my airplane bag. I've delicately cleaned my armpit so that I don't, distance myself too much from my friends here. But there's no water. And being someone who gets to normally have water while I'm here, not always hot water because the electricity goes out, so you can't heat the water. It's a challenge, and it makes me aware of the fact of how privileged I am even here to have water, because it's common to not have any and to not have hot water. And I just posted something on Facebook. If you look for it you can friend me if we're not friends, but just about the fact that equality, we fight for it, and you have to be privileged in the world. And I am by where I'm born, and I'm privileged to a point where equality is only something you can fight for if you have privilege. And people who aren't privileged aren't able to fight for equality. And it's a responsibility of us, those of us who are born into privilege, to fight for those who can't fight for equality, because they just simply based on where we're born, we're unequal. And that's, to me, that's not fair. Is that the answer to your question, Lorraine? She's gone.
She gave a thumbs up.
Okay, cool.
I want to just say that Romy had put on the chat that she was glad to hear about tree planting. Do you have any follow-up questions to that, Romy?
Yes. Yeah, I am really interested in knowing about the groundwater recharge in your area. I'm just very impressed because when you started off with just your mission was clean, safe drinking water, and how you have expanded in terms of water issues. I'm very impressed. And I just love that you have incorporated rainwater harvesting. You talked about that, and tree planting, because that creates groundwater regeneration, right? Biodiversity, and so many things that comes into play, not just water, because it's connected to everything. So is there anything you're doing for groundwater recharge in your area?
Ask the question at the very end again. Something the question again?
So when you withdraw water from ground, right? So you just, so there are now
Yeah,
a
the
lot
recharge.
of recharge. Yeah. Is there anything, any programs or any technology you would like to use? Because I can get you connected with those programs and technologies for groundwater recharge, because then you will make your unit very self-sufficient. Whatever water you're withdrawing from ground, you replenish it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I understood the question. Yeah, thank you very much for the question.
Can you
Remember
hear?
Romy is who we met from the U of T? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember very well meeting her, and thanks very much for that question. So one of the things that we've done is just to not only focus on tree planting as part of deforestation, but also focus on tree planting as catchment area protection. So one of the things that we're going to do is to identify the catchment of the water that we have around our community and protect that. But also we've learned about other technologies that other institutions have come up with. So like we work hand in hand with the Smart Center, which is like kind of a research institution. They are the ones that are also helping us with the irrigation. They help with construction of the reservoirs that we're using. So at the Smart Center, they have some technology that they're using for groundwater recharge. I've just forgotten the names, but they normally do that for their shallow water wells, where they'll drill. They'll call it. I think I'll send you the name when I find out. Julie will send you the name of the technology that they're using. It's just a simple thing. You drill, you dig, maybe like 1 foot diameter, 1 meter deep, and then you put something like you drill a 110mm hole going in the ground. That's the type of drill. But there's a technology that is being used that actually intercepts, especially the runoff from the gullies. You actually construct a tunnel that will take off runoff from the gully to recharge water maybe a few meters from where you're capturing the water. And they'll normally use like, we have a lot of gullies in the community where we live that will just run off with water. So they would put like embankments or dikes that would block the water. Yeah, they'll put check dams that will actually divert the water into that storage, that recharge technology. I'll send you the name of
Yes,
that.
please, please do. And a few more, we've been talking about you coming to U of T, and now we have this opportunity because now I'm doing a lecture through Zoom, so it's online. So I just had this question to your team. Would you be interested in doing a 15-minute presentation for my water resource management class online?
When would that be?
We can decide, like any day that will work with our time zones. So
Okay.
we can talk. If you're interested, let's talk about it. We can do a 15-minute Zoom presentation on what we have done so far and just talk to the students about all the programs that you are incorporating, especially groundwater. That's one of my focus in my course. So that's something I wanted to put out there for you.
Are you on WhatsApp, Romy?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I'll set you and Daniel and me up or something.
Yes, yeah, we'll connect through WhatsApp.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Vicky made a comment. I can't read it. It's gone.
I just wanted to say that it was really, really beautiful and inspiring to see the community participate in the 5K challenge. I see the shirt, and just to watch the men's group and the ladies group running, and it was just very, it was really heartwarming to see everybody sort of. It was kind of cool that it was happening here and there around the same time, and it was just really nice.
I'll just add to that, the fact that they took it upon themselves to do it, just in general. Originally, it started for joining in for my 50th birthday and raising funds, and then the Scotiabank run. But the girls did it after the boys, and they wanted to raise funds for people they don't even know. These people that were participating in this, a lot of them also live in a state of poverty, but that's different, a little bit more. They have a little bit of money in their pockets compared to our village friends, but they wanted to run for people they don't know in Luhomero to help raise funds because they know what it's like to live with nothing. So I want you guys to know that that was just exciting for me to see as well. Utsi, you ran. Did you have fun?
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah. Very much.
Thank you for doing it, Utsi.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any more questions? Any other questions? This is kind of like romper room. Romper, bumper, stomper, boo. Tell me, do. I see Sandy and Bethany. I see everybody at play today. No one remembers that. Okay.
I remember. So I'm just going to ask everybody to, if you can, before we go, if you guys could turn on your cameras. And I don't know if Shelly's able to, because I think some of us are on iPads and we can only see 9 at the time, but I think it looks like we have about 18 to 20 screens. If you guys don't mind sharing your camera. And I don't know if Shelly's able to do a screen clip if you're on a laptop and do like a screen clip.
Hi, Pat.
Okay, small ladies.
Elaine, I would love to, but with recording and doing everything else, I really can't do another camera.
I've got screenshots of you all. Don't you worry. I see Cheryl. Oh my goodness, I see
Ruth.
everyone.
I see Jean.
Go ahead, MJ. You do it.
Okay, MJ. Everybody smile.
Oh, wait. I can't get Mara in. Mara, squeeze, girlfriend, squeeze. Okay, wait. Let me put it back
Okay, Mara, get in.
Okay. Oh,
all right.
Shoot. I tapped it with my foot. Just a minute. No, not cheese yet. Okay, now cheese.
Okay, cheese. I hope Mary Jane got it.
I love it. There's so many of you. That's so encouraging. Thanks, everyone.
And, pass the word around because I know Shelly's recorded this meeting. So we're probably, I don't know, Julie Shells, are we going to post it on Facebook so that everybody can view it and maybe email it? I know there's a few ladies who weren't able to join us and they asked if they could be emailed a link to this. So that would be nice to share.
If everyone's okay too. Sorry.
No, you go ahead, Julie.
No, my question, sorry, I shouldn't interrupt. I keep forgetting. I'm not good with that. Is everyone okay if I post it on the general Facebook, send it out to our general donors so that people can see what's been spoken about and about the group? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think so. I think I see thumbs ups from everybody. Perfect. And, thank you so much for all your donations, ladies. For those of you who still want to do it, it's not too late. We're always open for donations. So don't forget, you can e-transfer Love a Village at yahoo.ca. And there's only a few more contributions left if, we're on track to finishing up next year. All right, Julie, you have your hand up. You go.
I just wanted to give you guys a couple little statistics. We had... our numbers kind of go up and down a little bit. In 2018, we had, it's probably between 50 and 55 people the chart that I had looked at wasn't quite up to date for what I was looking for, but we got about 80% of pledges. 2019, we had 79%. And to date for the April and October 2020, we're at 55%. So I know that COVID has affected people and their pocketbooks. I was chatting with the admin group. I think if I can be bold and frank, and I might cry, you all know me at least, that I'm a crier. I thought that would be your favorite thing about working with me. No? I was sure it was going to be that she cries all the time.
That could have been the worst thing.
Yeah.
That's why I asked, what's the worst thing?
But to be frank, if we all gave, I know we're all giving up things. We're maybe not eating out as much. We're maybe giving up Starbucks. We're maybe not buying as much stuff on Amazon. Christmas is coming. We have to save for that for our families. But if there's a way that we can just sacrifice or pinch ourselves a little bit, we're not going on vacations this year, so that's helpful to our personal pocketbooks. If people are able to maybe think about that, sometimes I hear people give up coffee for a month and it saves, whatever amount of money, and they donate it. There are people here without food, and they're eating stuff from the bushes. It's a reality. It's a reality in our day and age. We live a very good life. COVID is affecting us. It's affecting us seriously, and it's not to be ignored, but it's affecting the already impoverished people, and it's making the gap even bigger. So I on behalf of our village friends, I implore you and ask you to seriously consider finding that $100 or the $200 for the year, and asking others to help us, because charities are suffering. Some charities aren't, and depends. But right now we're on target for our 2020 budget. We're on target, and so that's a huge blessing. It's a miracle that we are. So by the end of the year, we should still be in the, is it red, black, or green? Whatever the color is, we're in the good. And we should be, but we're 55% of pledges for 100 women. So I just wanted to encourage you to consider that the gap is big. Oh, Dan has a hand.
I see we're winding up. I had Romy was asking, Romy, right?
Yeah.
So I remember the terminology of the technology. So they call it a tube recharge, TUBE recharge. So if you Google that, you're going to see it's a technology that has been developed. It's low cost, doesn't need a lot of money. So you're going to see there are also videos there, either by Jacana or CCAP Smart Center. Yeah, correct, yeah. So just Google that, and you're going to see their videos there. They've got also a publication. I think publications are the same. So
does she have to Google under Smart Center or just Tube Recharge?
No, just Tube Recharge to show Smart Center in Jacana. Yeah. So I think that's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tube Recharge Smart Center.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Thanks.
All right, ladies, I think is everybody good? Does anyone have any last questions?
No. All right,
Welcome,
I'll do a roll call. Doris, Vicky, Ann, Anna, Nini. Who else do I see here? Sandy, Lorraine, MJ, Pat, Jane, Jean, Ruth, Cheryl. Anything to say before we go? It's kind of nice to see you guys.
Oh, just
Let me just show you something, ladies. Look, I've got flowers. And I just bought them because I'm just going to take you on a quick tour. Where's my phone? Don't leave, people.
Okay, take
Stay
us
right
on a
there.
quick tour. Take us on a quick
Just
tour.
a quick
And don't
outdoor
feel,
tour.
ladies, if you have to go, we understand.
There's my house, our house, the office. But look, on my front lawn, there's the burning garbage fire pit and the toilet pit latrine that everyone uses. And so it's got some ugliness seriously going on here. Lots of cars parked, Oh, and there's an indoor, whatever you might want to call that over there. Lots of nasty. So I've planted myself an hibiscus. The kids planted it with me. And look what I have over here. Right beside the urinal, I've planted some flowers, ladies. Aren't they cute?
Lovely.
Is that bathroom yours, or is that for like a few houses? I didn't catch
No,
that. Is that yours
outdoor
or
bathroom
shared or?
It's used by all the people that walk by on the street. See them all? They come and use
Okay.
the pit latrine on our front yard. So I have a night guard who keeps me safe with my 2 dogs, and he uses it while he's sleeping here overnight. And he sleeps. I'll show. Oh, look! But wait first. There's my dogs. Toby, hi, Tobes. See, that's Toby. Those are my guard dogs. And the guard sleeps on the bench that everyone's sitting on. And there's his cushions, or he sits there. So I'm well cared for while I'm here. I've got my dogs, but he uses that pit latrine. All right.
All right. And I know Julie is feeding you guys tonight, so enjoy your dinner.
Webinyama.
Thank you.
And Sima.
Great job. You're doing a great job.
Great job. All right, ladies and gents, thank you so much. Pleasure seeing you guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Bye.
take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Daniel, give Tiger and Toby a hug for me, okay?
What?
Tell Daniel to give Tiger and Toby hugs for me.
Oh, Daniel, give the dogs hugs for Nini.
Okay, thank you.
Can I give them via Bluetooth?
A little
Does anyone
cuddle.
want to see? Some of you are still sitting there. You're still sitting there, a couple of you. You want to see my inside? Look, I've brought IKEA to Malawi. There's my IKEA lamp. But everything, I'll tell you something, everything in here other than the IKEA lamps, I've bought locally. So we have people who make rattan furniture, and I had a man make my cushions and my curtains from local Chitenge. Oh, love, that's from Winners. And then I've bought, someone made a nice wood bench and a wood table and wood carvings. So I try to support the local artisans here and have a really cute little indoor home now. Yeah. All right, guys.
Take care.
See you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye.